Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for the third from last race of the season for the Mexican Grand Prix. And if you guys did miss the last episode for the USA Grand Prix at the Circuit of the Americas, do check that episode out by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen. It was a very good race for us, and the championship is getting very close. 3 races to go. As things stand between myself and Sebastian Vettel, there are 28 points difference, and it's very close. Realistically speaking, Vettel still pretty much has one hand on the trophy. We need him to have a bad race, realistically speaking, so fingers crossed that comes to fruition. Now for this race, we didn't have any upgrades on the car, so we had the exact same vehicle as the last race in USA. We do have an upgrade for the next race, however, in Brazil, and hopefully further upgrades coming on down the line. But it's going to be interesting to see how things pan out. The car does feel great, and I feel confident right now. I've got good pace to really try and attack the big boys and really take the fight to them and try and even maybe win the race. We'll see how it goes though. First of all, we have to tackle qualifying on Saturday. The target is simple: try and get as close as we can to Sebastian Vettel, really. Qualifying has never really been my strong point. We always do the job in the race on Sundays. However, the better we qualify, the better the chance we give ourselves. Now, for the race tomorrow, there is rain expected. It's going to be a wet race, from heavy rain transitioning into light rain, potentially maybe dry at the end. So with that in mind, obviously tyre choice-wise for qualifying, we're just going to go aggressive, basically, and we ain't got to worry about saving any tyres. And in Q1, we went out on the Hypersofts, and first one was actually pretty decent. Nothing spectacular, though. I got a little bit caught off guard because we did a lap. We was a second off the pace, and it wasn't too bad. We go P13, however we would drop down a little bit further and actually go P15 and just scrape through. It kind of caught me off guard. Again in Q1, even though I put in a good lap, the AI just seemed to be so fast, and I was worried of the fact that we might not be as fast as I thought we might be. And in Q2, we went out on the Ultrasofts first of all to set a banker lap. Not a bad lap to be fair, to set us on a slower tyre. We go P10 and actually get to Q2 momentarily on that tyre. Eventually though, we would drop down to P11, so we had to go back out on the Hypersofts, and we're now going to ride on board for a full lap of the circuit here on these Hypersofts. And straight away you can see we're up on the Delta here. Very good exit out of the final corner, which is critical to dictate your speed down the straight as we brake on the 50-metre board down to 4th gear, and then later on down to 3rd to really get the car rotated for these 1, 2 and 3 turns. On the power on the exit, critical to get good traction here, open up DRS really early, and then basically race down to turn 4. Look at the 100-metre board on the right hand side, brake down the 3rd gear, pick up your apex on the inside, and then flick the car left for turn 5 on the right. Focus on traction through here to make sure we have 0 wheel spin is critical to both also tyre wear and also tyre temperature. That way we maximise lap time and performance. And then we get on the power again as we now go into the best section on the track, the twisty sector 2, really just attacking the curbs here. That's what it's all about, maximising lap time and really extracting the maximum out of the car. And we got that absolutely perfect, to be fair. We're half second up on our previous best as we now throw the car into the right just before the baseball stadium, as we now get on the power again for a short squirt into the very tricky left-hand hairpin, the slowest corner on the circuit, slightly off camber, as we again go into the final corner, 3rd gear, avoid the curb on the left if possible, get on the power, bear to the right to the shortest run to the line, and we do a pretty decent lap there, and that's going to see us through into Q3, P6 actually, pretty damn good lap, and we found some lap time right at the end there, so very positive and a very good Q2 session there. So we can see Gasly also getting through in P9 there, and the top 5 are composed by the 5 best teams on the grid, so it's going to be very close and very interesting here. And also we'll see what happens, because the Red Bull is actually now the fastest car on the grid, I believe, going into this weekend. They've put some massive upgrades, so it's going to be hard to compete with the big boys and the bigger team of Toro Rosso this weekend. But straight away Q3, our first lap, not too bad. We go P7, and to be fair, I didn't feel like I left much time on the table, so I knew it was going to be hard to beat that lap in this final attempt, and I was going to leave it out all on the line this time, as once again we look for the break point, the 50-metre board on the right hand side, down the 4th gear, really attack the apex if you can. Around this track, the story of gaining lap time and the trick to gain lap time is attack the curbs, specifically the inside curb, not so much the outside ones, which can cost you traction. We get 1, 2 and 3 absolutely perfect. We brake now for turn 4, again really late, bang on the 100-metre board, if not just after. Really feed the car through this section, and we're a tenth and a half up so far as we go into the double apex right, really attacking the first apex this time around instead of opening up the corner. We do a bit of a different line as we now attack the S section once again here, really trying to maximise the time and being aggressive on the curbs like last time. This time though, even faster than Q2, and to be fair, I'm impressed so far. The lap's been perfect up until this point, not a single correction as we go into the baseball stadium. A little bit wide there, a little bit of a loose rear end, and we lose a little bit of time. However, going to the hairpin, again, we get loose, but somehow we make it work and gain time. I don't know how we done it, but it worked out for us as we go through the final corner, keeping it really tight to the right hand side for the shortest run to the line, and that is a lap of Mexico. And all in all, I reckon I probably left about half a tenth on the table to a tenth maybe because of that mistake into the right hander going into the baseball section. But we get P4, and that is my best qualifying in a long time, if not ever. I don't think I've ever qualified that well before, so a very good qualifying session, and the race tomorrow will start in intermediate conditions. So we've historically been pretty good in the wet, so that does bode well for us in the race tomorrow. So with that being said, let's jump into the race and let's see how we do in the Mexican Grand Prix. It's time for the race. Let's go.
Formula One may have been absent from Mexico for 23 years, but after 2015's triumphant return, it was as if we'd never been away. In Mexico, a Grand Prix is more than just a race. It's a celebration of speed and of bravery. There's nothing quite like the atmosphere in the stadium today. They'll be drowning out the cars with their noise as they make their way through on lap 1. 17 corners then at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 10 to the right and 7 to the left, and all of them will have to be tackled in difficult, wet conditions here today. No DRS assistance either, at least not for the start of the race, but the best overtaking opportunities will still be down into turn 1 or shortly afterwards into turn 4. Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, with Daniel Ricciardo slotting in alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Martinez, Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and Magnussen, Alonso, Perez, Stroll and Sergei Sirotkin. Bottas, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Raikkonen, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Gasly, Ericsson, Ocon, Romain Grosjean, and Nico Hülkenberg. Sainz and Charles Leclerc rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So after that little message of encouragement, we are here on the grid P3 as we got promoted by a position, and it's going to be a good race. Raikkonen picked up a penalty, so we're still on the second row, but we're a lot closer to the front, and it's a long run down to turn 1, so getting a good start is going to be absolutely critical. I do think I can win this race. Vettel's on pole. We have to beat him if we want to keep our championship hopes alive, like Jeff mentioned on the radio. 3 races to go, the pressure's on, the difference between first and second is 7 points. I'm hoping Ricciardo in these conditions in the rain can get in the mix and try and get past Vettel as well. He's been in incredible form lately. In terms of the strategy today, we have a 2-stopper on Inters. Not sure how it's going to go because it's heavy rain now. It's going to transition to light rain. You never know, there could even be dries at the end of the race. Strategy-wise, though, it's pretty simple. 12-lap stints, 2 or 3 of them, should I say. And in terms of the fuel, though, this is the big kicker. We started off with 39 laps, so it's 3 extra laps of fuel. That's what the game done for me. I've gone all the way down to 35.5, and I'm half a lap under. I might even go less, to be honest with you. I might even go 35, but I'm going to leave on 0.5 just in case. Basically, we're going to go super light and aggressive with fuel and try and be nice and fast and aggressive in this opening phase of the Grand Prix. The plan is simple. Be in the lead by the lap 1, and if not, be in the lead by the end of turn 3 once we get past that first chicane. We're going to put the pressure on here, try and be aggressive, and try and get that first place. So that being said, enough rambling, and let's jump into it here for the third from last race of the season, the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Pressure is on. We have to make this count. Getting ready for the 5 red lights. Low revs, about 10.5, and Vettel's had a poor getaway off of the lights. Ricciardo getting the best start. He's into the lead. That's critical for us. Can we get the toe here? Overtake and Rich Mix engaged. As we race down to turn 1, Vettel starting to pull back on Ricciardo and recover ground into turn 1. A little bit of contact between the two of them. They go side by side. Vettel's a bit slow. We're going to go on the outside of him. That becomes the inside for turn 3. Get the power down, and we're into second place. Perfect scenario for me, as both myself and Ricciardo have passed Sebastian. Now it's about finding our feet. I put on an extra turn of front wing as well for the race start as I get a massive screen freeze there. Oh my god. That's going to not do me any favours. Like I said, I put an extra turn of front wing on because of the wet conditions, so my aero is now 6.7 instead of 5.8. Hopefully that will help me out. and that way avoid any sort of understeer in these conditions. Ricciardo putting the distance in between myself and him already, so I'm feeling a little bit of understeer here. First time I've driven the wet conditions, so I need to adapt and get used to it and see how the car feels. So far though, we seem to have very little speed and grip through the corners, which is not what you want around here. Either way, let's try and get a head down, try and get the tyres up to temperature, and maybe then we can start pushing after Danny Rick. But for now, as long as Vettel's behind me, that's the best news. It's not looking good so far. I definitely don't seem to have much pace. That's a massive lock-up. I've got brake pressure on 100 from qualifying, and that's really hurting me, and I'm having to be so light on the brakes. We are in big trouble here. I definitely don't have the pace, so this is going to have to be a bit of a fighting job and try and defend from the cars behind this race. Okay, there we go, that's an improvement. Only a 10th off Ricciardo that time round, and we actually got the gap out to Vettel to around 9/10, so decent improvement. Just start to find my feet a bit there. I've just got to drive extra slow. I'm still trying to drive too fast, and that's what's costing me time. I'm overdriving the car. It's all about just being very slow, precise, and zero corrections. I'm starting to find my feet now. There we go, a 28.0. Starting to really find the pace. I use overtake on the main straight, hot lap on the second straight after the first 3 corners, and then I leave it in medium for the rest of the lap. That's how I keep my ERS at max deployment. And we're starting to really pick up the pace here. Although I will admit that lap felt perfect. I'm not sure how often I can repeat that. But we're doing a good job so far. We're not out of this just yet. It's taken me 5 laps, but I'm now starting to find myself a bit. Still got 30 laps to go. Such a long way to go this race. Ricciardo picking up the pace. I respond, but still tricky to get that gap down. Ricciardo's picked up the pace and he's responded, and I'm struggling. Keeping the gap to Vettel, that's the main thing. If we can keep it like that, that's fine. We can try and do something with the strategy in the pit stops to try and get past Ricciardo, but at the moment he's looking supreme, and he's looking on course for a 3rd race win in a row. Basically, what he's doing is he is responding, because obviously the rumours in the paddock, you know, they're running pretty wild about who could I potentially replace at Red Bull next season. That's the talk, as it doesn't look like I'm getting promoted. And obviously both drivers are keen to impress, and right now Ricciardo has just come alive. He's really putting in the shift. Wow, 27.5, Ricciardo really going for it. We do a 0.4 though, so we're not done yet. Conditions seem to be improving slightly on the circuit, transitioning from that heavy rain to just light rain, even though at the moment I can't see much rain at all. Either way, we're keeping up with the race pace here. It's scheduled to come in 3 laps time. The tyres are starting to fade, but we're still setting good laps. 27.3 from Ricciardo. We do a 26.8. A massive lap there. That was a big lap from me. First man to the 126 is gap to Vettel now, nearly 2 seconds, 1.9, and we're closing into Ricciardo. First time the gap is well inside the 2-second mark. Oh, safety car. Something's happened behind. A rare safety car. No retirement on my screen. I wonder what that might be for, but either way, a rare safety car in the series. And it's Perez.
Some information on Perez. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Wow, that's incredible. Perez in his home race after such a strong season, one of the 3 championship contenders is out of the race, and that is going to be a fatal blow to his championship hopes in the Force India. That is a massive retirement. Very interesting now. The race has just been blown wide open. With this, we're pretty much going to be it's going to become a 2-horse race in the championship between myself and Sebastian. So this is very, very interesting. No one came into the pit lane there, so I decided to stay out because I'm going to rejoin in that traffic. I mean, I could have definitely come in, but I just want to basically do whatever Vettel's doing. You know, as long as Vettel's not doing nothing weird, then for me that's fine. We're not throwing the race away here, because if we do the same strategy as AI, we're going to be 2nd place where we are right now at worst. So we're doing nothing wrong. I just rather play it safe. So we're going to stay in the traffic. We're scheduled to come in next lap, so expect everyone to come into the pit lane next lap. So let's see what happens. Oh, okay, right, safety car in this lap. Right, what I'm thinking is I'm going to go long, because I've got a lot of rich mix to burn, and I'm going to also use up my ERS. Basically, we're just going to push to the max. I'm going to presume everyone's going to come into the pit lane now, or at least the vast majority of people. So we're going to basically get the clean air and try and go very, very long in this stint. By long I mean just one more lap, but go try long and fast. So we're going to go for the overcut essentially. Here we go then, tyres are cold, so we've got to be careful. Let's see what Ricciardo does. Does he come out or stay out? Okay, he stays out, so we're going to stay out as well. Vettel stays out as well. Tyres are so cold. Massive tank slapper there. We shouldn't be that much under pressure though. We've got Rich Mix and overtaking Gage. Vettel is gaining though. Here he comes. Going to force him to the outside. Let him go the long way around. Tyres are cold. I've got no confidence at the moment. Vettel goes to the outside. Doesn't quite make it work. And we hold on. Right, let's get out of ahead. Back screwed on straight. And try and catch up to Ricciardo. Okay, Ricciardo comes in. Sebastian comes in as well. We are staying out. This is the lap that we want. This is an important lap now. We need to give it everything. We're going to keep it in hot lap and also Rich Mix. Gasly comes in, so that's good news.
in the pits.
Right, critical lap, concentration at max focus. Let's go for it. Massive first sector, 3.5 tenths up. Exactly what we want. Come on, let's keep this going. It's a massive lap from me so far. 8 tenths up. Exactly what we needed. Even better than I expected. Come on, let's get this final sector sorted out. Slow corner here, very tricky. Get the car rotated. And there we go, into the pit lane. Come on, one last push. Now we hit the limiter. Get it all slowed down. There it is. Right, that was a really good in-lap. Really strong in-lap. And if Ricciardo's got held up by any form of traffic in his pit stop, that's going to give me a chance. Because we're going to have a free pit lane to ourselves. There we go, 2.4. Right, let's see where Ricciardo is. I think he's going for the final corner now. There he is, up to the finish line. Wow, he's had a really strong outlap. Very, very strong outlap from Ricciardo. Yep, that actually surprised me how strong his outlap was. I guess that's the difference of fresh inters. Either way, we tried our best. Just didn't work out, but we're still in the race here. So it's fine, we can still compete. We're miles ahead of Vettel now, though. We've really extended our gap to Sebastian. Let's have a massive screen freeze there. And another one. Jeez, man, this game is not working right. 26.1 from Ricciardo. That's the kind of pace he was running at. Makes you realise I was 8 tenths up on a 26.8. So it was pretty close. Vettel, though, the man on the move, 25.9. We're now going to run Rich Mix in the hot lap here. I want to try and close up this gap if I can to Ricciardo. This is my best chance to win this race now. Vettel's miles up behind. That was an incredible lap, a 25.2. Easily fastest, and we gained 6 tenths on Ricciardo that lap. We've got the pace now. The fuel's burnt off a bit. Cars are lighter, and we are flying. Vettel's miles behind, so essentially we could actually outscore Vettel by 10 points this race if we win and Vettel finishes third, which is a very good chance of that happening because Ricciardo has got a good pace. And if we can bring that through to the end of the Grand Prix, 10 points with 2 races to go, that's going to be very, very good for the championship. So let's keep this going. Now's our chance. Another 25.4. Still a good lap. Fastest final sector and a personal best gap now inside 2 seconds. It's showtime, baby. Let's get it. This is the one. Another solid lap, 25.5. Gap down to 1.3 now. We're going to be on the back of him this lap. That's for sure. Right then, at the final corner. I've not had the best final corner, it has to be said. Still a strong lap, though. Another 25.6. We're in the toe of Ricciardo. Am I close enough? I'm not sure. We are gaining, though. It's bit by bit. I'm going to wait, though, for the second straight. That's my best chance. If I can just get the run through 1, 2 and 3. Let's set up the car here. Now into 3. Really attack the curb. Traction down. 5th gear, short shift. There it is. Here it goes. Ricciardo goes defensive. We're going to switch back. Ricciardo goes deep. A little bit of contact, but we get it done. Job done. Ricciardo goes defensive. Got his line wrong. Ran deep into the corner. And we got the move as I have a screen freeze there on the exit. And I have to go wide. Right then, we're into the lead of the race. Massive stuff. Now we've got to try and pull away and establish this lead. Just over half race distance, so we've still got a long, long way to go in this race. Vettel's P3 about 9 seconds behind, which is beautiful. It's going to help me out. Now I'm kind of hoping Ricciardo holds second place. I really need that. Okay, this is my scheduled pit stop lap. I'm going to go out for one more.
Right, some information on Hamilton. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Wow, Hamilton's out of the race. Ricciardo comes in, as expected. We've got 2.7 seconds over him, so I should be okay. I'm going to stay out one more. because we did 1 or 2 extra laps in the first stint, so I want to make sure we keep the stint length out on this one as well and do 1 less lap on the last stint. So a strong in lap is needed here, but I feel confident that I'll still rejoin ahead of Ricciardo. Right, through the final couple of corners, attack the last one, get that pit entry perfect, slow it down, there we go, perfect, right, that's exactly what I'm talking about, into the pit lane then, final stop of the race, onto one more set of intermediates. There's Ricciardo now going through the stadium section, definitely have a lot more distance this time, 2.4, good stuff from the boys, it's a solid stop. Right then, here we go, Ricciardo's probably going for the final corner right about now, it's going to be close, because he's going to have that momentum all the way down the straight, up to speed, there we go, and here comes Ricciardo. I can see him on the mini-map, he's approaching, but he's not close enough, and we've rejoined back in first place, and we've held on, so critical extended lap there on the stint. It worked out for us, everything paid off, and we're still in the lead of the race here, which is absolutely fantastic, and we can now push on and try and win this race and take a massive step
for his stop
in terms of pushing for the championship. I think we're 23 or 25 points behind. I think it's 25. So we'd go down to 15 if things finished as they are right now. So that would give us a chance with 2 races to go to try and beat Sebastian. So very, very exciting stuff. Getting straight to work. Purple final sector. The gap is 2.2. I'm going to use rich mix now. Burn off what's left on this lap. And also use some hot lap as well. 24.7. A massive lap there. Really making a statement. Gap now 3 seconds, so we really pulled a gap out of Ricciardo that lap and pretty much ending any chances he has of winning this race. There we go, that's my last punch, a 24.3. It's game over. 4.7 now the gap to Ricciardo, 6 laps to go. Let's bring this one home and win the race. Okay, the rain has now stopped on the track. We only have 5 laps to go, but I mean, you never know, something could happen still. Not much spray being kicked off the tyres. This might not be over just yet. Ooh, yellow flag. Surely not. Not again. Has the bad luck come back to haunt him? It has. I think Ricciardo's out of the race. With 2 laps to go, I think Ricciardo's out. No. Not ideal for me. Vettel's going to gain 3 more points in the championship. And that could make the difference. Is Ricciardo out? No, he's not. It's still going on, it seems. There was a yellow flag behind, though. I wonder what that yellow flag on the minimap was for. On the way, we're behind Stoffel here. I want to try and lap him as I got the inside. The track is really drying up now. Tyres are struggling to keep up. I don't know what that yellow flag was for, but Ricciardo's still going, fortunately. But I'm still concerned as to why that came out. We've got cars in the pit lane here. Bottas and Raikkonen are in the pit lane. That's incredible. Bottas and he's got car trouble. Either way, 2 laps to go. Let's bring this one home. I've been in medium and also standard mix for ages now, just trying to save the engine and take it easy. Okay, we've got a bit of traffic now. 3 cars, Ericsson, Magnussen, Leclerc. Last lap of the Grand Prix, we should be okay. They shouldn't hold us up too badly. Let's just take it easy. No need to go into anything rash against these guys. If they move, they move. If they don't, they don't. DRS now enabled, so it is dry tyre conditions. I can feel that from ages ago. Ericsson moves over to the right. I'm going to force him to go left instead. Let's just be careful here to not lock up, because this is when you can lock up. Track's dry enough for dry tyres, and that's risky. Confetti up in the sky. Nurse in the car for the final couple of corners here. Oh, 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help. We better get a foot down. Ricciardo's going to be close. That's going to be a problem, that is. On the power out the final corner. That might be a problem. And in second place, we've lost it. Wow. Wow.
There's been a big push at the factory lately to get these cars ready, and we can see the fruits of that labour today as Red Bull lift the winner's trophy.
I can't lie, I'm gutted. I'm really not happy. That might have just cost us a championship. Such a silly mistake. Other way. Ricciardo wins. 3 in a row for him. Got to give him credit. 3 in a row. He wins by 0.4 of a second. That 3-second time penalty is setting me back. Vettel third. Grosjean P4. Incredible drive from Grosjean from P17 on the grid. And then both of the Williams as well. 6th and 7th. Verstappen 5th. Ocon 8th. Sainz and Hulkenberg ran out the points. Gasly just misses out. But that is that's annoying. Hamilton, Perez, Bottas, Raikkonen all towards the bottom there. In the standings though, we are 25 points behind Vettel with 2 races to go. So the gap was even bigger than I first thought. It was 28 points. So that makes me feel less bad about the mistake because I thought I was closer to him. So yeah, Vettel 25 points clear, 2 races to go. Perez now 40 points adrift and on the cusp of dropping out. So the pressure's on for him. Ricciardo now up to 4th place in the Drivers' Championship with 3 wins in a row. In terms of the Constructors though, Red Bull are now only 15 points behind us, so they're really getting close now. And I need Gasly to score some results. Williams overtake McLaren with that brilliant double points finish. And Ferrari are pretty much now champions. They've got one hand on the trophy in the Constructors there. But all in all, a very entertaining race. Ultimately a massive mistake at the end, costing me dearly and costing me 7 points, which would have put me 18 points behind Sebastian with 2 races to go. But all in all, still a good race. And we're now going to move into the laptop.
Great work out there today. How do you think it went? We all underestimated you, didn't we? Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race. It looks like you're schooling your rivals at the moment. How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today? Appreciate your time.
Right, so here we are on the R&D screen. Now, upgrade-wise, we have 1,500 points to spend, and we have an upgrade here for 1,200 points, which is for the fuel tank positioning and the weight redistribution. Now, we have one arriving for the next race, and if we get this in the car for Abu Dhabi, we might actually be the best in the chassis department. So I'm going to go for it, basically, and max out the chassis, because that's our weakest point, and that's going to really help us out, and that should actually make Toro Rosso the best car, so you never know. We could actually leave a team, and Toro Rosso might be the best team on the grid. Now, with that being said, if we look at the progress history here, Red Bull were the ones that took a big step this weekend forward, and they are the second best team at the moment. And that top 5 starting to separate a bit now. Mercedes dropping off a bit. Red Bull and Ferrari starting to pull away a bit. But look at the bottom, Williams, Sauber and McLaren there really making work to close the gap. And all in all, it's just very, very exciting. And I cannot wait to see what happens going into the next season. But all in all, a good episode here today, guys. If you did enjoy it, drop a like on the video. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content. Turn on notifications so not miss a single video from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next episode very soon. Goodbye.